Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday, y'all. How are you guys doing? All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. As I promised, I have a story that I want to tell that I have not told. I was thinking about this story today, and I haven't told this story. I don't even know in at least a decade, okay? Just because after this story happened, it took me a little bit of time, first of all, to grow into myself and process embarrassment because this is probably one of the most embarrassing times in my entire life. Okay. It's funny now. It is funny today. The story is funny today. Okay. It definitely was not funny when it happened. All right. So, first thing I want to say is I won't say how long ago it was, but I will say, y'all who know me, do the math. Okay. I was I don't even know what year it was. I'm thinking it was freshman year. It was definitely freshman year. I'm remembering my dorm room and all of that, my first year at the Jackson State University. All right. Before there was a Dion, okay? Before there was a Dion at the Jackson State University. Uh so first of all, I gotta give context for people who remember the old, not Jackson State today, the old Jackson State back in the day. Jackson State, when you could drive your car through campus. Not today where you have to walk through campus. I'm talking about when the thing to do was to drive your vehicle through campus so that you could see people and people can see you. Because it is important when you are in college for you to see people, and it is equally important for people to see you. So I won't say what year it was, but for my old school Jackson State folks, do the math. Okay. It was during the time when you could drive your car through campus. All right. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the Jackson State University, there was a time where you could like literally drive your car from the front of campus all the way to the plaza, which was like the hangout spot. And now they have paved it and put these bricks where you can't drive through anymore. You can only walk. It's aesthetically pleasing, but the whole purpose of that little section of campus was to drive or walk through so that you could see or be seen. All right. So one thing that's true when the weather, when the weather changes, when it goes from cold to the sun is coming out, and we taking those jackets off, right? Outside of the union, I bet money that this isn't true only at the Jackson State University. It's probably true at other HBCUs. Wherever your spot is, okay, imagine it, picture it. Outside the union is where you are supposed to be when the weather changes. When the jackets come off, the weather is warm, and everybody's hanging out. Outside the union is required. It's mandatory. These are just mandatory HBCU things, okay? This is where you're supposed to be. So I don't know if they did this at any other HBCU, but I would imagine they did. But at Jackson State, it was the requirement. All right. Is this a JSU thing? I don't know. My memory fails me. Okay. But the point is, it was mandatory. So, one thing I want to say, in addition to hanging out outside the union, your outfit mattered because the purpose is for you to see people and people to see you. All right. I don't know if this was like for everybody or just my crew. Was it a JSU thing, HBCU thing? I don't know. But on Wednesday, that was our designated day to be cute. It was mandatory. Now, my memory fails me. Is this a HBCU thing, JSU thing, or just Tanisha's crew? I don't know. I do just remember That on Wednesday you're supposed to dress up. It is required. Like it's required. All right. So my little crew, now this was before today, these young people have Shein, they got the Temu, right? I ain't have any of that, but I did sure enough have a college student's budget. All right. The budget was college to teen. It was a collegiate budget. All right. So I'm saying all that to say there was a lot of borrowing involved. This is how you make the outfits work. You coordinate this with somebody else because they're so cute with yours, and you don't have the funds to be cute every single Wednesday. We not only not only did we dress up, y'all. It seems so funny now. Not only did we dress up, we coordinate my crew. So we were a group of three, but then we had like other people who were in the group as well. So it would literally be like the same outfit, but different colors. So I cannot make this stuff up. All right. But I'm telling you the thing, we coordinated the outfits. All right. So anyway, I do remember this part like it was yesterday. Some parts I forget, but this part I remember like it was yesterday. Okay. Stay with me. Stay with me. I had this really, 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 really cute sundress. I mean, it was cute. It was denim on the top, and it had like a little button up, like you button it up, but it stopped maybe like right mid chest, I guess, like in your midsection. And the rest of it was like this flowy, long floral print. I'm really giving away the year. It's not about I could tell the year, but I don't want y'all to get lost in the sauce, okay? But the dress was cute. The point was it was a sundress, which is required dress for when the weather changes. It is what you're supposed to do. And this was a cute sundress, okay? I just knew that when I put this sundress on and I go see people and people see me, it's gonna be a great day. The only thing I was missing on my collegiate budget was the perfect shoes. Like I needed the right shoe, okay? It had to be a shoe that was the right, like heel height, so that my dress would hit just right. It's not dragging on the ground, it's not close to the ground, it's the right length so that it flows when I walk. This is a thing, y'all. I don't know. I'm not making this up. Ladies know. All right. So it needed to not drag the ground. It needed to be the right, height so that it would pull the dress up from the ground and not drag and be the perfect flow. All right. So I'm not very tall at all. For those of you who've never seen me in person, I am 5'2". So I had, that part working against me because I'm already close to the ground. The dress is long. So I really need like a high heel shoe to pull it up. All right. So anyway, the great thing that I love about college is on my hall, 4th floor, east side. We forged these relationships and bonds, and some of those people I still talk to every single day today. Okay? And some I don't. But I had a friend on my hall who shall remain nameless. But if you was 4th floor, east side, you know who it is, okay? Because it was a thing. We were close, all right? So this person shall remain nameless, all right? But she had a pair of shoes that looked perfect. They looked just right. It was a strappy, like black sandal. The heel was like 3 inches or so, and it was a block heel, not the big block, but like it was like a platform, but it was like just the right block. Okay. It was perfect. And I just knew that when I put these shoes on with said dress, okay, when I put these are going to be the perfect shoes. And because we all love each other, she was willing to let me use them. So I'm straight up winning. Now, a couple of details. A couple of details. Her shoe size was about a half size more than mine, but small fries. What difference does that make, right? It's the perfect shoe. It's the perfect height. The dress is hitting just right. Everything is flowing the way it's supposed to. I am about to be cute, y'all. I'm about to be cute. Okay, I got a cute dress. The weather is weathering. You can go to the union where you can see people and be seen. It's gonna be a great day. This Wednesday is going to be a great day. All right. So I have to make some adjustments because this little strappy black sandal with the 3-inch heel is, it's a little loose because it's a half a size too big, but it's okay because we figured it out. Everybody gonna know no way because the way the dress flow, it covered the shoes. So nobody would know that the shoe was too big. And you're gonna be cute. All right. We figured it out. Like, y'all, I get dressed Wednesday morning. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I know I look good. I know I look good. I know that I look cute. And I know that this is going to be a day that I'm going to be out all day long because I got people to see and people need to see me. Okay. This is required. This is I don't know. This is a JSU requirement. I won't say I will not say it's an HBCU requirement, but at Jackson State, the weather is breaking. The jackets are off. It is a requirement that you get dressed and you go to the plaza so you can see people and people can see you. All right. So I wake up, I get dressed in my, my hallmates shoes, half a size 2B, but perfect shoes still. Okay. And because I knew that I was cute, I had myself on over to the union because I need for everybody to see how cute I was because it's mandatory. So I go to the union and I hang out at the union until it's time for me to go to my music appreciation class. Okay, yeah, I don't know why did nobody warn me because I love music, but I had no appreciation for this class. Okay, so I was headed to class. All right, and I've been out getting my compliments and dressed just swinging every which way, and your girl is looking cute and feeling cute. Now time for me to go to class. As I head out of the union, what y'all think happened? What do y'all think happened? What do y'all think happened? Okay. I head out of the union. I step off the curb, y'all. I step off the curb and I fall down. All right. Now, let me explain. This was not like the kind of fall you can catch in the middle, like, a stumble where you can recover, you can recover a little bit and then you be like, oh, I stumbled. It wasn't like that. It wasn't even the kind of fall where you like, where you hit the ground real quick and you hop back up real fast and you be like, am I right? Mm-mm. It was like I falling and I can't get up type of fall. Like I was down. It was one of them like, I want to move from this spot, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna lay here. It was the kind of fall where you laying there for a minute trying to figure out like how did I get here and how do I get up from here? Like it was like a fall, okay? Y'all was bad. Okay. Not only did I fall, y'all. My dress, remember the flowy dress? It flew up, like up. The dress flew up like all my business is in the streets. Y'all was so shame. So I forgot to mention my knee was scraped up. It was bleeding. So I'm laying on the floor. My knee felt like it was about to fall off. All my business in the street, and I'm just laying on the ground. Okay. It was like the most tragic fall you could ever have in life, like ever. So how long it took. In my head, it felt like I laid there for about 15 minutes. I don't know. Probably was some people helped me up immediately. In my head, I felt like I laid there about 15 minutes. All right. So some folks who I can't remember who to this day, if I already told the story. And I know that my friends were not with me because I remember telling them after the fact. I remember telling them what happened. So my girls weren't with me. I was just out here by myself being as cute as I can be. Yeah, the people give me up. And I don't even remember who it was, but I really want to go to my room. I want to go to my room and I want to lay down and I want to go to sleep. but I didn't miss a music appreciation like 50, 11 times. And so I got to go to music appreciation so the professor could at least know my name because I wasn't feeling music appreciation in no type of way. All right. So if you have ever been on the campus of the Jackson State University, then you know the walk from the Union, not the new Union, not the one down by the subway and all that. The old Union, the one with the post office and the bowling alley, that Union, and the general purpose room where the store used to be. That Union, okay, in the middle when the cab used to be right there. That Union. Yeah, I had to walk from the Union to the music building. That's not far, but it sure ain't close. It's a long walk of shame when you done just falling and all your business is in the street and your knee bleeding and it feel like it's about to fall off. Honey, I took that walk of shame and I went on and I went to music appreciation. But let me tell you this, when class was over, when class ended, I did not walk back the way I came. I was not going back to my room 50 minutes later after the incident the way I came. So I had to take the back way, like Jacksonians, school education building way, football doing way, like way out of my way, down to the library and across to Alexander. Because I'm not going up the plaza. I just can't do it. And let the same people who just saw my whole everything 50 minutes before, nope, not doing it. All right. So it's been a long time since this story happened, y'all. A long time, decades. All right. I have just recovered enough to tell y'all the story. So, what I want to share with you today is what happens. I want to give you 3 things. My light is tripping. I want to give you 3 things that happens when you try to walk in somebody else's shoes. All right. So the first thing, how I even got to that point was the truth is I probably had my own shoes. I probably had some shoes I can wear, but I didn't place the value in the right place. So what happened first is you start to think that what you already have is not enough and you don't value it. So the truth is I had shoes. I just told you we dressed up every Wednesday. I had shoes. But because I had saw these shoes that my friend was wearing, I started to think the shoes that I got wasn't as good. They weren't cute enough. They weren't attention grabbing enough. And I started to compare what I had to what somebody else had. All right. I started looking at what somebody else had, thinking it's more appropriate or more valuable than what I had. Yep. I did. So the lesson here and how this applies to life is I want you to be careful about looking at what somebody else has. And just because it's good for them doesn't mean it's what's best for you. All right. Not only does this happen like in material things like houses and cars, clothes, possessions, relationships, things like that. This also happens when you start thinking about yourself, like your value of yourself. All right. And sometimes we start looking at the way somebody else shows up in the world, and it might be excellent. You know, there are people around you all the time, and they show up in an excellent way. And it's very, very easy to think like their excellence means that you don't have some sort of excellence. All right. So the best example I give is like an Oprah. All right. I always say it's one thing to admire Oprah, and it's a whole other thing to think that you should become like a miniature version of Oprah. All right. So when you see Oprah doing what Oprah does what Oprah does in a really good way because she's Oprah. All right. She does what Oprah does excellently. The thing to remember, so you can admire somebody, you can even learn from people and figure out like how what they have fits in your life. But imitating or valuing somebody else's gifts more than you value your own is not only disrespectful to God, but you'll never be as good as them at what they're great at. But there's no need to worry because God gave you a gift of things that you are. He gave you a whole slew of things that you're amazing at, but you miss them because you're looking at what somebody else has. All right. I remember, I'm going to try to tell this part of the story. I'm going to tell this story without calling no names or calling nobody out. So one of my favorite motivational speakers, when he speaks, he has a distinct way of speaking. I'm not going to go into the distinctness of it, but he has a very distinctive way that he speaks. And not many people speak like he does. All right. So I remember seeing somebody who was also a fan of this particular person. I remember seeing them speak like this person. And when I tell you I was like, what is even happening here? Every single mannerism that the person had was like this speaker. I'm talking about the eyes, the way they move their hands, the inflection in their voice, everything. Almost like this person had studied the speaker and said, I'm going to do it like this person does. And I remember thinking, this was years ago, I was like, this jig will never work. Not because the person wasn't good at speaking. Like when you listen to them, their topics, great. But it wasn't who they weren't operating as their authentic self. So I knew then because they did not value the gift that God gave them, that it wouldn't advance. All right. And so I'm saying this to say that when you are clear about the gifts that you have, and not only your gifts, but your core values, what matters to you, then you can see somebody winning and love that for them, right? You can also see somebody winning and learn from them without being them, right? Because God gave your gifts to you, not them. So I want you to rock all of your giftedness. See, I shouldn't even did that. My light is not my friend right now. Rock all of you. Understand what I'm saying? So God created. So this is what this is what we forget. I'm gonna go back to the shoe example. God made each one of us with a specific amount of equipment, right? That equipment is so we can do what he created us to do. All right. So when I go out here trying to wear somebody else's shoes or fill their assignments, right? I am not using the equipment that God gave me. I am not doing what God called me to do. So I'm out of alignment with him. Trying to be impressive and acting like somebody else. All right. So, number one, I got notes. Hold on. Your shoes will fit just fine. All right. I need you to know that you are one on one. You are literally the only one who can do what God called you to do. So that doesn't mean that other people around you will not be excellent. That doesn't mean that there are attributes or character traits that you may develop as a result of being around people. I have friends who are consistent. So that consistency is something that a character trait that I'm like, oh, I need some of that in my life. So you might take that trait and develop it in yourself without valuing what that person has more than what God gave you. All right. So wear your own size shoes. Don't be out here in a shoe that's a half size too big. Your shoes will fit just fine for what God called you to do. So now the truth is, as I think about this story, what I could have done if I was thinking right and not looking at, I'm telling y'all, I really think that I thought about borrowing them shoes before I asked to borrow them shoes. I think I bought the outfit knowing she got these shoes I could borrow because I seen them with them on. They cute. And if I could just match this dress with those shoes, it's gonna be a great Wednesday. All right. But what I could have done is bought an outfit that would have been equally as cute with the shoes that I had. All right. So I want you to know that God made one of you. You are one of one. There's no other person on the earth that is like you. He created you. And that was it. Done. Fully equipped you with everything you need to do what he called you to do, what he created you to do. I want you to rock the mess out of all of that. Whatever it is, whatever it's the something that when you look at, when people think of you, you do it and you don't really think it's much or nothing because you can do it with ease. So you don't regard it highly sometimes because it's so simple. It's who you are. All right. It's that something. So recognize what gifts you have and use them in an excellent way every single day. So if I had valued the shoes that I already had, I probably could have found me a more practical outfit that would have matched what I already had. And I wouldn't have been in the situation that I was in. All right. I do want to say, as I think about how I got to the point, there were a series of things that happened, natural progression and growth and development that showed me, definitely reading my word showed me what was excellent about me and things that God intended me to do and how to use my gifts. I would say definitely getting more serious about my word so that I could be more spiritually mature. I think once I got intentional about, I was talking to somebody today and I was telling them I was raised in church. Like I recall a brief period in my life from maybe like kindergarten to third grade where I did not go to church. But all those other years I've been in church. But I think when I got more serious about taking what I was learning through reading my word and going to church and actually applying, when I got serious about life application, God began to reveal to me what some of my gifts were. So that was the first thing that helped me to get really clear on what my gifts were. The second thing I would say, there were some people who spoke life into me, who affirmed me and brought out some things in me that I for lack of better words, I took for granted, because they were simple. And not only that, there were some character traits that I had that growing up just aren't a good fit for, like a structured environment like school or, that I needed to develop. But also one thing that helped me was the DISC assessment. So if you've never taken the DISC assessment, and I don't mean just any old DISC assessment, okay? Because you can Google DISC assessment and take a DISC assessment. The assessment that I took though, it showed me that one of my superpowers, like my zone of genius, has to do with working with people. I'm sociable. I make friends very easily, which in a school environment, they don't want you doing all that. They don't want you in there making friends easily. They want you to be quiet and do your work. And I wasn't great at that. I always got in trouble for having the last word, making a point, and making friends. I always did. Okay. And so what I'm saying to you is the DISC assessment really helped me to get clear on some things that I was told, like do less of that. And it helped me to transform my thinking and see like, okay, this is actually a gift. You just got to learn how to use it. So you can't be making friends at the inappropriate time. When it's time to make friends, go in there and make you some friends. But when it's library time, be quiet. All right. So those are one of the things that transformed my life and made a lot of things clear. Yeah, my life just said forget it. It said forget it. Okay. So those are one of the things that made it clear to me. what gifts I had, and then I believe just studying the word and what the word said about me, and getting serious about life application. Those are the things that made me very clear. So once I got real clear, see, this is what I'm trying to get you to get to. God is giving you some gifts, and unless you're using them in an excellent way every day, you're not in alignment with what God wants for you. You're not in alignment. All right. But once you get clear, it becomes easy to do. Now all you got to do is just do it every day and develop it and get better and do it every day and do it every day and do it every day. All right. All right. So the first thing I need you to know is your own shoes will fit just fine. God has you have everything that you need. You don't need to go borrow nothing from nobody. You don't need to copy what nobody got. Don't be looking at Oprah and be trying to mini Oprah it. Use what you have and rock all of that. All right. The second thing is when you wear your own shoes, it's just easier. Okay. Wearing somebody else's shoes makes things that should be simple more complicated. And it don't feel as good as it looks. So when I had those shoes on, baby, I was cute. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. But my feet were hurting. My feet were sliding forward because they're half a size too big. It was just unstable in multiple ways. All right. So when you try to emulate other people or you try to walk in their shoes, it's uncomfortable. In addition to being uncomfortable, what started as mildly uncomfortable. So when I first put those shoes on, it was a little uncomfortable, but I can make it. It's going to be a great day. All right. It was mildly uncomfortable, but it quickly became a situation that was completely and utterly embarrassing, not just to my body because I fell and hurt myself, but to my self-esteem because all my cuteness was gone and I was embarrassed beyond belief. Not only was I not cute no more, which is the goal of walking down the plaza so you can see people and they can see you. I ain't never been embarrassed like this. All right. Okay. So when you walk in your own shoes, you will know how to walk in them with ease because it's more comfortable. Walking in your own lane, staying in your lane, using your own gifts, you know how to move and navigate tricky situations because you have a level of comfort with your movements. So had I had on my own shoes that day, had I had on my own shoes that day, all right, I probably would have just stumbled when I stepped off the curb. I probably would just stumbled a little bit, caught myself, went on by my business because I wore these shoes before and I know how, I know how they move. I know how it go. I would just stumble a little bit and went on by my business because these were my shoes. I didn't know how to navigate when you fall off a curb. How do you navigate that? How does your body? How does the inertia affect the fall? Right. So the point I'm trying to make is don't try to move like you see everybody else moving, even if it look good on them. All right. Even if it look good on them. You ain't got to be doing. I know your friend got a real nice house. You don't know what sacrifices they had to make. You don't know how uncomfortable it might be for them to be in their house. You don't know how uncomfortable it might be for them to have their spouse. You don't know how uncomfortable it might be for them to have them children, their job, insert whatever. All right. One of my mentors says there's no such thing as a problem-free space. All right. So just know that what's for someone else is for them, and what's for you is for you. All right. So don't try to move like you see everybody moving. All right. Even if it look good on somebody else, just because it look good on them don't mean it's good for you. All right. So you got to assess whether it's a good fit for you, which clearly I did a poor job at. We should have known when I tried the shoe on, it was half a size. When I said, what size shoe you wearing? She told me what size. And I was like, I can have a size smaller, but it'll be all right. And we put it on. She's like, yeah, you just got to tighten this little buckle part right here and it's going to stay on. Nope. That's not what's going to happen. That is not what's going to happen. All right. So you have to assess whether it's a good fit for you and be willing to make another choice when you don't get what you thought you wanted. So what I thought I wanted is for her to loan me them shoes. I really did, y'all. Y'all don't even know how quickly, when I got to the room, y'all don't know how rapidly I gave them shoes back. I'm talking about with the quickness. Went to dinner in a whole different outfit because I'm not putting these shoes on. The plan is for you to be cute all day on Wednesday, like from the morning into the night. After that fall, I was like, girl, you take these shoes back. Because I thought that's what I wanted. I thought that's what I wanted. I thought it was just what I needed, and it wasn't. Okay. And the last thing I want to say is when you wear your own shoes, you're gonna be able to walk around all day. See, when I got them shoes, see, it don't always end like you thought it would. So walking in somebody else's shoes don't always go the way you thought it was gonna go, right? The confidence that you experience, like you might get what you wanted, but it's gonna be short-lived. It's not gonna be a long, you're not gonna have that for a long time. That feeling, that happiness, that satisfaction, you won't have it for a long time. It's gonna be short-lived. But when you've been your authentic self, you can do it for long periods of time. So sometimes we get what we want, but it don't feel good for long because that's not what God intended for you. But when you wear your own shoes, you'll be able to walk around in them all day. It'll be a long lasting. You understand what I'm saying? When you do what God called you to do, it's going to be a long lasting confidence, a long lasting satisfaction. It's going to last. All right. The confidence will last longer and you'll be able to walk around. So had I worn my own shoes, I would have been able to fulfill the mission of being cute from sun up to sundown. But it was just music appreciation was at 11. So by noon, 50-minute class. By noon, I'm back in my room, returning these shoes, these said shoes. So half a day of cute, not even a half a day, because we weren't getting up at, probably 4 hours of cute. Trying to wear somebody else's shoes. So these are the 3 things I want you to remember. God has already given you what you need. You don't have to emulate or desire anything that anybody else has. You have everything that you need. The shoes or the equipment that God has given you will be just fine. It's going to fit perfectly for what he asked you to do. When you start walking and wearing your own shoes, it's going to be easy. All right. When you're authentically who God called you to be, you don't have to chuck, drive, pretend. It's going to be easy. All right. And because it's easy, you're going to be able to do it all day. All right. And the happiness, the satisfaction, the confidence that you get from operating in the gift that God gave you doing what he called you to do, it's going to be long lasting. You'll be able to do it all day long. All right. So I came out here today because this message ain't for everybody, but I am talking to the person who thinks they need what somebody else has to be successful. I think about the fact that we live in a world where social media can be great. You know what I'm saying? Like it opens up the world to me. It makes the world much smaller. You can reach people that you would have never been able to reach if we just had to talk by phone. Like there's a whole audience of people who are available to us. Connections can be made. Some of my closest friends were my friends long before I ever saw their faces. All right. And so I'm talking to the person who's looking around. It's easy for us to see what everybody else has going on. And so it's easy to get the perception or the feeling that somebody's experiencing a level of success, and it's easy to start desiring that for you. All right. Not saying that God don't want you to have blessings and abundance, right? But you don't need what somebody else has, what God has blessed them with per se, in order to be successful. So I believe that God does want us to be wealthy, but he can make that happen for you with everything that he's giving you. You don't have to desire anything that anybody else has. God has equipped you for what he wants in your life. You just got to activate that gift and use it excellently every day. That's all you got to do. Use what you got. It's enough, and it's actually more than you think it is. All right? Because I told you, you think it's nothing because you do it very, very easily. You do it really easy, so you think it's nothing. It's so simple that you think it's nothing, right? But when you value it, you can show other people how to value it as well. So I want to encourage you that whatever you're hoping for, believe in God for, you can have, he's giving you everything you need to have it. All right. And when you attach the right motivation with that desire, because we ain't out here just trying to be cute so people can look at us. We out here trying to be cute so people can look at God. That's another lie for another day. All right. God is just waiting on you to use these gifts into value. All right. I thought this was going to be a short live, but here I am 40 minutes later. All right. So, in my role as a coach, I realized that a lot of times we have everything we need to be successful, to reach our goals, to have the life that we know in our hearts. Like what you feel in your heart, what God created in you and you desire, that's He promised that is possible. So, having the gifts that God gave us isn't always enough. Remember, I told you I had these gifts, but I just didn't know how to use them. All right. And not just use them, but use them effectively and in a way that leads to results. So if you're someone who knows that things aren't like the way things are today, aren't always the way they're going to be, or they don't have to always be like that, if that's you, I want to invite you to join me on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. In 2 days, I'm having a free webinar this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. All right. So that I can show you how to get unstuck and out of these unproductive cycles. So you won't be walking around thinking that somebody else's shoes are better fit than yours. All right. So if that's you, I want you to go to happynewyearnow.com. Happynewyearnow.com. All right. I want to see you there so that you don't end up, I don't want to see you laying face first flat out on the ground because you're wearing the wrong shoes. All right. There are a couple of things that I know for a fact that you're missing. And I love to help you sort through those things and achieve the life that God desires for you. So again, the website is happynewyearnow.com. And I pray that I see you there. It is Tuesday night. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Thursday. Thursday is the webinar night. It's Tuesday night at 8:13. And this is my live for the day. Thank y'all for hanging with me. And I pray that you have an amazing evening. Love you to life.